G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach Swordplay and welcome to my round 2 review. Hope you're all well. A little bit easier to rock up this week. A positive week for myself, almost a top 1,000 round score. And last week I saw myself sitting at around 73k and now inside the top 15k. So it does go to show a week is a long time in Supercoach. The trades that I proposed at the end of the video and the end of the podcast last week, I didn't actually go through with. So I'll talk about what I actually did do in regards to my trades. I did use a boost, but I think I used it to pretty good effect. 2058, I cannot complain with that. Now, I do need to give a shout out to a lot of the lads. Had an awesome catch up on the Saturday. Ended up going to the Crom Essendon match, catching up with all the great lads, and it was a big night. Let me tell you. Now, you can probably see the cheek there. A fair bit of a shiner. It was a very, very big night. So I've got some special shout outs to give. I'm not going to go through all of that now because it's a bit of a story. But Supercoach God, love you, mate. Thank you very much for the Uber home. Appreciate you, brother. And Dan, I should have worn the Caco badge. Thank you very much for that, mate. You're a great man, and shouted me a few beers as well. Look, Steve was there, Swizz was there. We had George, JD, Joey. The horse was there for a while at the footy too. We had Deji, the Discord boys. There was, and I'm forgetting so many people. Obviously, Brent, Skender, Tyler went. There was so many great lads there. So I will give everyone a proper shout out. Get the photos up during the potty because it's already almost 12 o'clock now. What's up with how long they're taking with these lockouts these days? Fantasy was like 2 hours ago, so a little bit ridiculous there, but I really did need just to smash this one out tonight. So I'm already rambling way too much. So a very quick round review tonight. Remember, we do have the stock market video coming back this week. So that's going to be a massive, massive episode. And hopefully that'll be out on the Wednesday. So you've got Wednesday and then most of Thursday, or until the first game to view that as well. So keep your eyes out for that. We've got the potty. Spills has just put his chit chat video out. That was about 3-4 hours ago. So make sure you check that out as well. A massive, massive week for content. And we do have some new boys jumping on as well. So that will be announced within the next week also. So that is it for the intro, guys. I hope that you had a good week. Let's see how the team's doing and lock in some more trades. Alrighty, now I better start off with the trades that I made last week. Originally, I was thinking SDK. Do I get him into the side? There were some other players that I was very, very close to getting in. I really wasn't sure who to trade out in the end, but I did decide to say goodbye to Harry Perriman, and in his place, I bought in Riley Bice. Now, if you listened to the potty last week, Spills was all over Riley Bice. I couldn't believe it. But he said, just throw away the key with this pick, a bloke that's played one game as a sub. And I thought, why not? Follow that advice, and a 96. So trading a player at, 411k in Perryman to a rookie in Bice, 113k, and getting a 96 over a 57. That is absolutely fantastic. So really happy with that trade. That was a huge win there. The next trade I made was out Hugo Garcia and in Isaac Rankin. Originally, this was going to be Baz, but with the news that he was obviously out with the calf, plans had to change. And I still needed to really fix up that forward line. And Rankin was the man for me. So watching him live was awesome, but shattered he got subbed out at 3/4 time. He was on track for 120 to 125, I think. But it is what it is. Can't complain with the week that I had. And the last trade that I make, so I did use a boost. I said goodbye to Matty Flynn and brought in my man Levi Ashcroft, who I should have had from the start if only I had have heard the news. And, well, that went from 0 to a 72, and that was actually part of my best 18 scoring as well, which was really, really handy. And then you got the Rankin 97. I think Hugo got a 25. So really good trades there in the short term anyway, looking okay. And I may even use another boost this week. We'll see how we go. But overall, really happy with that. We'll talk about some of the players now. Again, really, really quickly. Got the Shees with an 81 and Zorks with 136 as my two uber defenders, and really disappointed with the Shees. We got a 106 last week and only an 81. I didn't think that his floor would be this low. But it is what it is. I'm holding him. I know that some people may look to trade, and he will lose some money. It's almost a guarantee, but I'm not trading him out. I selected him for a reason, and I'm just hoping that he starts to get back in some form. He's too good of a player to dish out 80s. I think he's going to continue to go 100 plus like he did in round one. But have we paid up too much from the start? Possibly, but I'm not letting go of him now. I'm keeping faith in the Shees. The Zorks, now some people laughed at this pick, but I really loved his early DVP, and he's proven over the last couple of weeks that he's basically numero uno when it comes to defenders, along with Mr. Bailey Dale, who's been a wonderful pod selection, who I obviously don't own. But the great Zorks, it wasn't looking great in the first quarter, 10 points I think it was, but then went bang in the second and just continued on from there. And to end with a 136, absolutely brilliant. So he's been a really, really huge win week one and week two. Same as Matty Roberts, a 115, now averaging 111.3. Got the bye this week, but I'm also now thinking that he's keeping material. So we've got Sheasel, Zorko, and Roberts, who I think are all going to be keepers, which is really nice. Short with a 71. I knew that I'd get trapped. I knew I'd get baited. It was just that price point. It was Jordan Clark for so long, but unfortunately, I needed money to go up to a Finn O'Sullivan. What a great move that was. And a few other bits and pieces here and there. And Clark was a victim of that and had to go short. Well, I didn't have to go him. I decided to go him, but I'm getting out of this pick this week. 71, just no good. And the kick-ins, where were they? They decided that Ben Miller should be the man. So absolutely out of this pick, I think now. Zach Reid with the 36. I'd love to trade him out. But when you look at O'Connell, you look at Trainer, it's tough. Like, what do you do here if you are looking to trade one of these blokes out? Do you go with Reid's job security? O'Connell scored, 6 points more than him this week, but last week it was terrible. Maybe it's O'Connell that goes out of these players, but yeah, Reid, O'Connell and Trainer, you just cannot trust these guys on field, particularly when it's not best 18. So I'll look to fix something in the back line this week anyway. Midfield, Chocky Neal. I said to people, just hold on to the bloke. He will bounce back. Don't sideways him to Dunkley or anything like that. His break-even's still huge. We know this, but I'm keeping faith in the man, and I'm a little bit disappointed in 133 because he hit the ton very early on in the third quarter, I think it was, and did slump a little bit in that last quarter in particular. But 133, cannot complain after a 41. This is a quality that I selected, and this was a fixture that I was really targeting. So, as I said, you can't really be disappointed with the 133, particularly as captain. But yeah, 150 I think was left on the table here by Lockie, but all good. Brayshaw, the 106. I'd like to see a little bit more from Brayshaw, but what really helped him was his disposal efficiency. I'm not sure if it ended on 100%, but at least up till three-quarter time when I checked, it was at 100%. So going really well, great use of the football. And if it wasn't for that, then yeah, we could have seen a bit of a lower score here. Cannot believe that Sarong almost made his way to triple figures. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, the scaling there. Not a salty non-strong owner. Like, I've got Brayshaw and he's done better than him so far. But yeah, a Connor Rosie would be fantastic here. But again, Brayshaw, great buy. I think he's got a nice fixture. All good for me. Clary with a 130. Now, some people were a little bit worried last week. Is he going to be a keeper? Is he back to his best? Well, certainly not back to his absolute best. We can't say that after just 1 week, but a nice 130 in the bank is fantastic. Most of us have him, so I'm hoping he can be a keeper for us. He's certainly got the talent, the pedigree, the history to suggest that he can, but he'll continue to be a bit of a wait and see, but I'm really confident on him personally. Cheryl with a 113, absolutely fantastic. It's really weird. He seems to have a really, really strong first half. Well, first 2 weeks he has anyway. Then the third quarter, they play him back and he just goes missing. And then last quarter, they get him back in the midfield and he tends to score okay again. So that 113, if he was actually played as a full-time midfielder and didn't spend, I don't know why they're doing it, why Voss is doing it, but if you didn't spend time back in that third quarter, then this could be a nice 125 type score. So wrapped with him, yeah, those two mid prices, Aaron Oliver and Chera, I think that I've got right. Fino Callaghan obviously didn't play, but used him to loop Sardis on, so that was all good. Really happy I've got Fino Callaghan. And the other thing that I should have mentioned with my trades last week, I did decide to use a boost, but the reason for that was that I wanted to fix as many problems as I could early on and get in who I thought would be some must-have players. And I think ranking in the forward line, at the moment, he looks locked to be, at least a top 3, you think, at this stage. Then you look at Bice down back. He's going to be a must-have as soon as the buy is over. You've got to get him in, basically, with that 96. And Levi as well, I think he's going to be a must-have, one of the better rookies we can get our hands on. So with, the Stewart news, with, if you kept on to Flynn, if you got Baz and he's still out, you've got some potential problems that you may need to fix. And I just wanted to get on the front foot and deal with them early. So I think it was a good strategy for now because it gives me options for this week. Maybe some more luxuries. We'll see how we go. But back to the team. Finn O'Sullivan, he's gone for me. Just, his draft profile, we knew that he wasn't, an absolute Supercoach fantasy type pick. He wasn't a big accumulator. Just 42 won't cut it for this price. So I'm going to go down to someone who has a much better break even and much better scoring potential. So who that's going to be. Noddy with a 95. Brilliant. Almost reached triple figures here. Just fantastic rookie selection. He is an absolute must-have. Get him on field. The role is absolutely there. At least until Hayden Young comes back. That may change slightly. Play more predominantly on a wing. But for now, just absolutely brilliant. Love him. I Nevitt with a 58. So, again, tackled really well, but I don't think efficiency was quite there. They got smashed, but I thought it was quite harsh because, he was a decent type performer, I think, and certainly keeps his spot. Sardis, as I mentioned, really glad I didn't trade him out. The Togs still isn't there, so I really don't think that Sardis is going to be a pick, but for now I'm going to hold, and if it's out of O'Sullivan and Sardis, I just think that I've got to get rid of O'Sullivan. He's just not doing it at the moment. Hewitt with a 58. So this is looking like an 80 at one stage, but he must have really slowed up in that last quarter. This is all good, though. DPP is going to come in really handy if you want to make some moves around your midfield and around your forward line, even potentially a flex. So happy I've got him there, 58. He'll be okay for us. Campo subbed off, but a 52. That's all he really needs to be doing at that price, and I'll just continue to leave him on the bench. Sherry with the 136. This is absolutely fantastic. Max Gorn owners, look away. Nank owners, look away. Very tough week for some of the big rucks. But Tristan Sherry, you can, as I mentioned, you've got to select some of the higher price players. Now, look, Sheezel hasn't really worked out to date. Again, only 2 games, but Zorko has. Neil's really bounced back. Brayshaw's been okay, and Cherry's dominated. So another 136, and particularly given the fact he's playing against Max Gorn, this is just super impressive, and he's already put a lot of points on those guys, and his break even's nice and low. He'll actually go up in price, I think. So absolutely, wrapped with Sherry, and he was a no-brainer for me. Never left my side, so happy with him. TDK just got stuck on the bench in a crucial time when lots of the scaling was going towards blokes who were having an impact and getting disposals, and I'm sure that he would have stepped up during that time. So this is, I'm going to say, a 130 left on the table at least, and a 104 just wasn't reward for this bloke's impact, I don't think. But again, really high upside. I had him as a VC, didn't quite work out, but I was really confident with Lockie anyways, that backup. So really happy with the Ruck setup, and Harry Boyd didn't play. He's that R3 loophole, it looks like now, but with Keeler injured, does he get another look in? I'm really not too sure. They probably don't want to change up too much if they don't have to after the win on the weekend. Show Ashcroft in the flex. All right, forward line, Horn Francis, 61. What on earth is going on here? I thought he was absolutely locked and loaded as our F1 for 2025, but he's got some work to do. Now, I'm not writing him off as a pick, and I'm not going to trade him out because I think he's too good of a player to dish up what he has been. Now, if you've lost complete patience with him and you say, stuff you, mate, I'm done, I can really invest this money into a better player or on another line or do something with it, then go for it. But for me, I'm going to keep on to him. Just like Sheezel, very, very well below par in the first couple of games, but I selected them for a reason and I'm going to hold faith. So disappointing, but it is what it is. Rankin already talked about. Fantastic game from him. Just got managed. So good to see he's not injured. And again, as you can see from this team, I have avoided most of the carnage, which is really nice. Jack Macrae, he's a no-brainer. We've all got him, but how good is it to see him back with a 162? You look at what Macrae's doing, what Dunkley's doing, what Baz Smith's doing. Poor old Bulldog supporters, they'd just be going, oh my goodness, what's happening? Bont's not out in the park. Trelaw's not out in the park. But you've got Sam Darcy. So that probably, given the fact that you got Sam Darcy, means you don't really care about anything else. Generational type player, absolute gun. And could he be a pod in our classic Supercoach teams? Possibly. But Jack Macrae, absolute pig. Could he actually be the M1 this year, let alone the F1? So, yeah, brilliant selection. What more do you say? He's already in the Supercoach Hall of Fame. Daniel with the 116, beautiful. So had that 80-odd last week. We were thinking, bit this, that, not fantastic. But this is exactly what we did want to see. I was questioning after last week's game. And again, just questioning, you discuss these things. Is he actually going to be the keeper we thought he might be? With 116s, absolutely he is. So again, we're not locking him in for a keeper at this stage, but really nice for that average, yeah, and we'll absolutely take that. Power Pepper. Now, I guaranteed on the potty that he'd go 80 plus, and he did with an 83, so hit the scoreboard a few times. The role still isn't fantastic, but I was really, really keen just to hold him for at least this week, see how he goes, and he really delivered for me. And the frustrating thing is, you look at like Power Pepper at Davidson, this is a best 18 week. The week before, 39 was it, and an 18. That was not a best 18 week, and it just killed me. If you reverse that, then I'm ranked easily inside the top, 8K, probably 7, 8K, but can't complain. Again, it is what it is. So I'll probably be holding on to Power Pepper. Great thing is, remember that 18, given the fact it was his first score, that'll be the first score out of his prize cycle, and this 83 will be in for 2. So definitely a hold, I think, after that. Connor Stone didn't play, and then I did loop Davidson. So this is the thing with wingers. They have their good weeks and they have their ordinary weeks. Just unfortunate was an ordinary week last week, but really hit back with a 72. Absolute hold at this stage. Pretty impressed with his performance. And then, and Kako, well, he was a bit underdone going into the game. So not too disappointed there. Just lucky I didn't have him on field, I suppose. But definitely a hold for me as well. And handy DPP. And Levi Ashcroft, 72. A couple of unlucky free kicks against. So looking like an 85 at one stage. And for most of the game, he was actually in front of his brother. But Will absolutely stormed home in the end. And I think got triple figures, which is really nice for him and his owners. But Levi, 72. Really happy with that. Would have been 0 from Flynn in the flex anyway. So really happy there. All right. I want to keep this quick, so let's quickly talk about some trades. We look at break evens here, 170, really big from Sheasel, but again, I'm not trading him, not trading any of these blokes. Look, the break even's not huge, and then actually, he's got St Kilda. Oh, you'll probably go big this week, won't he? And then I'll regret trading him, but I really don't think that I can have Jaden Short here at the moment. I think that I need to move him on. Reed, geez, you make a little bit of coin, but job security's there. Scoring potential, not really. Wonderful pick with bias, but he's obviously not playing. O'Connell, trainer. All right, so we'll just put these blokes on field for this week. What have I done there? Sorry. All right. We'll do that. So we've got the captaincy loop. Neil, no. Rachel, no. Not trading. Finn O'Sullivan, I think he's the one to go. Not trading. Not trading. And then forward line. Not trading. So I'm going to boost at this stage. And as I said, I need to get out of the Jaden Short pick. I feel like I got baited there. So gone is Short. Gone is Finn O'Sullivan, just not performing at the price. I can get someone cheaper that's going to do much better than him. So it just makes sense that he would go. And look, it's a tough one, but I'm thinking Liam O'Connell. So who are we actually looking to get in? We'll start off with the defenders. And we'll go by average. All right, so Zorko I've got, so that's really, really nice. Bailey Dale is the obvious one here, averaging 134, 528,000. So that's an absolute bargain for his average at the moment. So very keen on Bailey Dale. Sinclair at 592, really hit back this week, which was nice. Whitfield, close to 600. Jordan Clark. So it's very, very tight for me out of Bailey Dale and Jordan Clark. Jordan Clark I had for so long during the preseason, so that's why I'm almost leaning there towards Clark. Just love his role, such a great player. Salem really impressive with the 110, but that's a selection I'm not really going near because we've got Stephen Mates come back into the side. Amon is a really nice pod, probably just lacks the ceiling. Max Holmes, I don't mind, 91. Houston, 81. Nazai with the 113, I like him. Freya's the other one. I'm just thinking if it wasn't for that goal, I reckon he got, 25 odd points for that? And we're looking at the 75. So one act, just go to show how much impact he can have, though. Look, I do like him as a selection, but I just want to play it absolutely safe, I think, from trading out of Jaden Shorts. So at this stage, I think it's going to be Bailey Dale. Look, at that price, I think he's really, really hard to deny. So Dale is the first one in for me. And then the other bloke I'm thinking about is Connor O'Sullivan. So close to 150K. But I need another reliable on-field rookie, given the fact that I've slightly changed up my structure when Perryman went out. I was expecting Perryman to give me around that 95 to 100 average, and obviously not the case. And so I've had to change things up, get Bice back there. I'm just not confident fielding a Reed, a trainer on field at this stage. I really need to push them to the bench, and I need to bring two blokes on that I think have decent potential on field, and that's going to be Bice and O'Sullivan. So really rated O'Sullivan's game. Lovely intercept marks, contested marks as well. Smart footballer. I know they rate him highly. We've got other players to come back into that side, but surely with Tom Stewart out, that helps his job security. I'm not sure what they do with Sam de Koning. Oh, geez, you'd be very concerned if you traded him in. I was close to doing it, believe me, but really analysed the pick and thought, just not for me, particularly with his upcoming matchups. One's another week, but yeah, I think we obviously don't go there now if we don't have him. But yeah, I think that surely his job security should be okay, particularly after that performance. You can't drop him. So I think I'll bring O'Sullivan in, and then that leaves me with a midfielder. And we've got 196K. Now, it's going to be... Actually, why don't we quickly sort by the break-evens here? Okay, so Noddy we've got. Now, it's going to be out of these two. I think we'll go straight out of these to either Lindsay or Henderson. Other options, Murphy, Reed. Pretty impressive. 4 goals the other week, but Max Hall, this is disappointing. So for those people that trade him in, bad luck there. Only a 33. The issue for me with trading Max Hall was the role. Didn't love it. And that decent score he got would be the first one out of his system. So that's why I wasn't keen to go early on someone like a Max Hall. A little unfortunate if you did. Clay Hall, he looked really, really good. So played 1. Maybe he could be an in for a Sardis type if he puts in another good performance. So definitely keep him on the watch list. You got a little bit lucky with Ned Long. I think if you traded him in, was going to be the sub, not in the end. Josh Ward, early pick, so hopefully he goes well. Marias, hasty, unlucky. Baz. All right, so really, it's going to be out of Lindsay and Henderson. So averaging 82, averaging 64, but then we're saving almost 60K. And having, 96K in the bank, I know that I need to plan for Baz as well. So Baz will need to come in. But then again, I've probably got some money if I do bring in a Hall type for Sardis. I think I'm just going to go with who I think will be the better player because I'll most likely have them on field. So I think that at this stage, I'm going to go Lindsay. So out short, just a speculative sort of mid-pricer into Dale, who I think is going to be a really solid premium, just a fantastic role. Takes the kick-ins, unlike Short. Can't believe they gave him the Miller. So I think that's going to be a decent and safe trade. O'Sullivan, just don't like what I see. Really like what I see from Lindsay. So I think that makes sense. He'll make so much more money in the short term, at least anyway. And O'Connell just doing nothing for me. He'll make a little bit of coin. It's not even a guarantee after what he did week one. And look, you could say it's a slight risk with O'Sullivan with job security, but I just think that the way that he played and with that big score in his system, particularly in round 2, that's going to bode really well for him. So they're my trades, and I'm going to lock those in for now. The only difference could be maybe will I have enough? Yes, I wouldn't have enough for Jordan Clark here. I'd have to go maybe a Henderson and Jordan Clark. So that's probably the other moves that I could make instead of those ones there. But pretty happy with that. And look, people will definitely be against using a boost. And look, it's not an ideal scenario or situation when you do. But I want to get on the front foot early and make sure that I try my best to get in all of the must-have rookies and get rid of some dead weight, the Perrymans, the Shorts, the Garcias. Just time to move them on. So I'm happy that I've done that. And I think the team is actually in a really nice position at the moment. So we'll just do that. But Bice will be my VC loop, which would be cool. We'll have no loops anywhere else. So I'm really going to have to try to select who I think will be best 18. So backline is what it is. So we can't change that. So we've got Nevitt versus the Lions, Essendon versus Port, Melbourne versus the Suns. So I'm definitely going to field these blokes here. It'll be out of Nevitt Sardis. I'm probably just going to leave it like that, I think, for now. This will stay for now. And forwards. So you've got the Dogs in Davidson against Carlton. Kako against Port, not wrapped there. Stone against Hawthorn. Power Pepper. Do I keep the faith with Power Pepper again? I think I might. Get Davidson there. And then we've got Ashcroft on field. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. And captains for the week. So Dane Zorko against Geelong. Geez, we saw what Sinclair did. Nazai scored a nice 113. Dale against Carlton is a bit of a pod. Brayshaw. Oh, so Brayshaw's against West Coast. He could be a nice backup option. Lockie against Geelong. Might put a bit of attention on him, we'll see. Clary against Gold Coast, probably not. Cheryl wouldn't do. Callaghan, no. Sherry, who's he got? Rob. Geordie's pretty safe, I'd say. Sherry. Can't see him going, under 115, 120. DeConning has Tim English. He should dominate Tim English, shouldn't he? Potentially. Horn Francis. No way. Rankin. Playing north at Adelaide Oval. Could be a pod VC. Jack McRae. Oh, Jack McRae against Richmond. Okay, so. Oh, geez. I really like Brayshaw against West Coast, but Jack McRae against Richmond. I think that might be too good to pass up. I think it might be Zorko into McRae. We're captain Jack McRae. How good's that? And Levi there. So I think that is it, guys. That's how we're going to roll in this week, unless there are some late changes or some more carnage. I absolutely need to plan for Baz. I think he'll be a must trade in. Look, we'll see how he goes in his comeback game. I'm hoping, from a selfish point of view, that he misses another week. So I've just got that extra week up my sleeve for a couple of other blokes to make some money. And then it'll be a little bit easier for me to bring him in. I've only got, 30-odd K at the moment in the bank. It may be smarter to pass on Lindsay, which would be really tough, and go Henderson just to have that extra cash in the bank. I was planning on having that extra cash in the bank because remember it was Baz instead of Rankin originally, but needed to change that. But pretty happy overall. The structure now with O'Sullivan and Bice down back, I'm a lot more comfortable with because I've got a lot of faith in Sheasel, Zorko, Dale and Roberts. So having those two on there and pushing, the Reed, the trainers to the bench is really handy. The midfield with Noddy, Lindsay and Nevitt, I think that's pretty solid. Having Sardis on the bench will likely move him on soon, but keep him for now. Some DPP with Hewitt, which is good. Campo is what it is. Happy there in the rucks. And then I think forwards, well, look, we have seen an 18 and a 39 here. But again, it's best 18, and I'm pretty happy to run the gauntlet there. And then Levi Ashcroft. One of these will, Power Pepper will hopefully be Baz Smith. We'll see what happens. But that is the team, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I don't know how long this was in the end, but I did try my best to keep it short. Make sure that you do check out the Supercoach Swordplay podcast. We'll be recording that about 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. So I will put a tweet out. If you've got any questions for our mailbag section, make sure that you do put them there under the tweet. Apart from that, we'll be having... Geez, what else? We got the stock market. That's going to be absolutely huge this week. We'll have the captain's videos. We'll have the game day squad videos. Shout out to all the blokes at game day squad as well. And again, a very exciting announcement. We've got some absolute legends that are joining the Swordplay crew as well. So that'll all happen this week at some stage. Really excited about that. So plenty of content, more content than you can poke a stick at. And again, a shout out to all the legends on Saturday night. You are the absolute bomb, guys. So much love. All the best. I'm going to look after my Shiner now, hit the sack, and I'll see you soon. All right. Cheers, guys. Bye.